I like that,
How did it heck down there?
that's what I said, why did they keep doing this in August? And I know why,
It was awful.
because convention centers are less expensive,
Yeah.
they used to do it in September and all, even then.
Oh, yeah.
Remember,
That's this time they got bridge, you know, they said.
yeah, like, the Austin Convention Center has been torn down, we built. It's probably gonna be in San Antonio the next 2 or 3 years.
That's gonna be even hotter.
It's 80 miles different.
Down, we went to San Antonio. Oh, really? The whole thing was hot.
Yeah, I enjoy Austin a lot. I mean, San Antonio was nice. Yes, because the Austin Convention Center has been torn down and rebuilt. So it may be 2028 or 29.
I wondered why they did it. Okay. I just remember from right across the street was the hotel, the Indian Convention Center, and that's about all of on air conditioning that you can take in Austin.
Well, I booked a hotel that was
In Grover here.
not as close as I thought it was,
Oh.
15-minute walk.
Oh, did you do the path? Did you walk
I did the path,
Yeah, that's.
yeah, I did the river walk, which was 5 degrees cooler.
Yeah.
In the afternoon,
Yeah.
I did Uber, it was just
I was gonna say, I would have probably,
15 minutes an oven or $9 on an Uber. No
Yeah.
brainer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was hot, right? In Texas. It was, but it wasn't even. Really? Wow. It was, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, there was only 3 of us that went.
It was warm and blowing. It was so hot that the doorknob was sweating.
Oh,
The outside doorknob of my house was sweating. I was
Yeah.
like, how does that happen?
Well, I had an agent that worked for me in my Dublin office years ago, and she had lived in Houston. And then when the pandemic hit, her husband lost his, he was a PhD geologist, all of it, but everybody, and people just walked in to the banks, and these massive subdivisions, all closed. Yeah, in the mid-80s, it was bad. So she was a realtor there. So she came to work she got her Ohio license because she was originally from Michigan anyway, so but she said all their appointments were like at 9 and 10 o'clock at night. Oh, it was a fine thing. Yep. Oh, the same appointments at 9 at night. And
I
you
just
said,
want to be a little. Hot, you know,
I'm not really know. I don't know who. Give too much going on, doesn't matter.
I would play catch up, maybe. Don't worry about it.
As long as you don't understand, I should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm really not. Fine.
I would have happened.
No, you don't have to think about it. I just don't know if I would find you.
It's okay.
It's okay. Clearly, you weren't like upset with me.
Oh my gosh, Jennifer Earl, no.
Who could be a
Don't
Jennifer?
even. Don't even.
Oh, there are those that.
I can't imagine.
It will remain unmentioned. Politically. You save it all up. That's right.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us today. We are just gonna mastermind a little bit on things that were taken away from Mega Camp. It was awesome. And so we are going to get started. Sound good? Remember, some of this is implementation, right? Hopefully you're gonna have some ahas to take back to your business and implement what is coming. Okay. What was your biggest aha? No, or where were we? Yeah. Biggest aha. Or oh.
The speakers Wednesday afternoon.
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you all.
Yeah, and that was like types of well,
Yeah, that's well, for the bypass well.
or, yeah. And my takeaway, but I knocked at the end was that it's really kind of simple. Movement, 30 minutes a day. Nutrition, 80% of what needs to be unprocessed food. Recovery, 7 hours of sleep. That's just kind of like, that's pretty simple. If you could do that, so do I move 30 minutes a day? Yes. And I need to work on the 80% unprocessed food.
Sure.
One of my only New Year's resolution this year was to clean, not eat fast food. I think fast food. 4 times this year. And recovery 7 hours of sleep. Sometimes I did that. I thought his speech was really good.
Who was that, Joe?
That hill.
Feel blue.
Can you- can you-
H-I-L. That's. H-I-L. Might be two L's, I'm not sure.
I-
Blue,
I-
like a blooming flower. Yeah.
BLOOF.
And he has a book. which is called
That'd be good for a book.
Yeah. Oh, he was very good.
I think one of his stories that I heard, if I remember correctly, so. Sorry if I caught it, but I just remember him saying, it was basically about living in the moment. Because he went to this guy in the fishing town and was gonna tell him he would go out every day and go fishing on his boat with his net. He would collect the fish, he would come back and he would get it to whoever, and they would fix dinner, and he would go home and he would enjoy time fishing and go that way. So the people came in ready to like, make this a big business, and here's what we can do, and here's how we can get you a bigger boat and bigger nets and more people to work for you, and then you bring back more fish, and you make all of this money, and then, right? And then you end up in the big city, and you own like the fishing empire, whatever. And if you went, and goes, well, what, and then what? And the guy goes, well, then you can retire, and then you can go back home, and you can, go back home at night and bring. So I kind of,
So the story was that he went out fishing, but then in the afternoons, he was able to take a nap,
Yeah.
spend time with his friends, have dinner with his family. It was the fisherman and the banker.
yeah,
And the banker comes along and says, well, you can get you more boats, so you can have more fish, and you can work like the devil until, you make all this money, and then you can do nothing. And he said, why in the world would I do that?
for the power of living now, you still have to work hard,
Right,
you have to be in the moment. The whole event was about shift, it was the whole week was about, shift and video, it was really big, but shift video and AI. But at any rate, work like a boat now, but like, are you enjoying your next?
Yeah.
If you're doing it all for the future, you should be doing it now.
Which goes back to the 5 types of health being.
Yeah.
You know.
Said was, the point was to make you think deeply about what you want your life to look like.
Yeah.
And I added truly look like. Kind of close to that out there, that's a good comment. But to make you think deeply about what you want your life to look like.
Yep, having a true norm. What are you doing all of this for? What do you want your life to look like? And then there was a follow-up question. If a third party was watching you live your life, would they think that you were serious about your goals? Something. Are the actions that you're taking really getting you to your That was good. We had CEO Summit on Monday, and a Dr. Josh Axe is a functional medicine doctor. How do you spell it? Is it AXE? Yeah, Dr. Josh Axe. He's actually from this area.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You made,
yeah, he was at a metrics thing. Is he, I don't remember words today, chiropractor?
functional medicine.
Okay, yeah, I think he started out as.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah. His mom had to.
Mom had cancer. He had back surgery
Yeah.
for a back issue and a lot of health issues. So, he said our bodies are made to live until 120.
Wow.
But stress, lack of sleep, and poor diet are the top 3 health indicators. He also has a book, and I don't have it right in front of me, and I notes that it's in different places.
I would have two of them down. The power of full engagement and the video diet. I think you might have that, right? Those were the two. The power of full engagement. And the video diet.
Like Bible, yeah.
Yeah.
What was Dr. One?
The power of full engagement.
Yeah.
And that's it, we get excited.
He
Yeah, the
was in
podcast
a,
is also on YouTube.
is he the guy who's got the box basically that he sleeps in? What's that thing called? Very much a thing. Yeah, it starts with a tap. Oh,
It did. He had to speak fast. He had a lot of information, I thought.
I have 33 pictures.
Yeah.
It's part.
Wow.
So it's like, oh my God.
Yes. 4 keys to healing and longevity was reduced toxicity, optimize nutrients, increase cellular energy, and personalized diet and medicine. He spent quite a bit of time on talking about knowing your data and eating accordingly.
We had 2 speakers, they talked about reducing the stress, getting enough sleep, exercising, eating well.
A lot on wellness,
Yeah. He had it.
both physical and mental health.
He had 6 actions. Fill your water, filter your water. The filter. Switch to organic nutrient dense food. Personalize your diet and lifestyle. Reduce toxic exposure in your daily life. It's another 9%. Prioritize joy and movement and community and address your emotional spiritual.
And a book club talk.
Sure does. Sure does.
He didn't say find a new profession to get rid of the stress. Yeah, this, you see, yeah, we'll just get rid of all the stress.
Yeah, and for women, you know, we just keep taking other people's stresses. Yeah. Mindset increases estrogen, but reduces testosterone.
What then?
Negative mindset. And so there was also some talk about infertility, while so many men now are having fertility issues because their testosterone is being low and all the stress. Particular medication through.
80% of doctors' visits are stress related.
And your blood pressure goes up.
Yeah, or what happens to your body.
Inflammation.
I have a doctor that my blood pressure went up when I took the blood pressure, and you know, if they tried one arm or the other, it could be different. So one was better than the other. I said, take the lower one. He said, I don't really care that much about your blood pressure because when you come to see me, your blood pressure goes up. There are other things that I'm looking at.
Who CEO Summit, when they asked people to anonymously put up what they're dealing with. So this was about mental health and community and why that's so important. And up on this big screen, people were entering all kinds of stress and things that they were dealing with. And it was interesting in a room, and she said, in a room full of successful people. I want you to look at this screen. That was so powerful. With that,
That was Liz, but
Liz Bohannon, she was good. And just talking about the importance of community and having people to share the load with you.
we were sleep deprived, and I think we were about in tears on her part when it started going across.
It was very vulnerable.
She put up a QR code and said, scan, so nobody knew if you were typing something or not. But you put, what are you worried about? And you think you're in this media summit, these are the top users that are coming to this whole event, they get a lot of money to be here. And you see, like, whether it's cancer, debt, you know, whatever's going on in their life, or their kids do this, but they have regular that every single one of us.
Am I good enough?
Yeah,
Am I good enough? Imposter syndrome.
yeah, a
Multiple.
lot of it.
Yeah.
How did that?
Imposter.
Imposter syndrome.
Defending yourself if you're not.
I like how. I
Or
like
you're
how-
getting something that you don't think you're good enough to do or have the skill set to do it.
You've had a success, you've had a, let's say you had a huge closing and it was just, and you feel like you weren't worthy, like you didn't really do enough to earn that kind of success.
Barbie, we love that you.
I know, Marty's like, what is that?
Yeah, that doesn't exist in our world.
Look at all that.
Thank God.
This is another thing to worry about. You're my spirit animal now. You're so
She did make a point on that when she was talking about the importance of us being in community with each other and intentional community. She said that we have to make sure to not to show that vulnerability to each other, so we all know we're in it together. But additionally, when somebody does open up to you or they ask you to do something for them, to tell them it's going to be a forgiving perspective. Because the gift of being able to help them means that they're definitely, they're open up and you've got that real, that's what they're feel a lot of. So thank you for that gift.
And being the first one, like, I think we all say, if you need anything, let me know, or I'm here if you want to talk. But if you were the first one, if I've got a problem, and I told Jennifer a few weeks ago, if you need anything, let me know, or if you want to talk, just pop in. But if I come to you and say, I've got a problem, can you help me work this out, and you're vulnerable?
Yeah.
They're way more likely to come to you, for the same advice. So being vulnerable, but being the first to do it instead of just blankly saying, let me know if you need it. First.
I know, I'm trying to get it organized.
This was a good one. You are a time billionaire, but we don't relate to ourselves that way.
Yeah.
It's our most precious asset. Yet how much time is wasted stressing, worrying, and scrolling?
That was,
There will be a last time for everything. So.
that was you, I think, so.
And stop using the word, he said, stop using the word later. It's another word for never. And he said, relationships are the biggest predictor of health
Yes.
at all ages.
Who's book the 5 types of health?
Well, yes, create your own hero's journey. The worst thing in the world is being on a good path that isn't yours.
What can you say the first part again?
Create your own hero's journey. The worst thing in the world is being on a good path that isn't yours.
So that's a deal.
That was the deal, yes. When everything is urgent, nothing is urgent. Create space in your world to take yourself out on a date. And then this is where I got that statement that I previously mentioned. If a third party were to observe you for a week, would they think that you are serious about your goals?
He said the one most important thing, relationships are the single greatest investment you can make.
He talked a lot about what your enough life means and your goals. Your life goals should not be in numbers, like I wanna have $1 million when I retire. It should be your vision for that. What do you do in that number? Not putting a number to it, because if you put a number to it, that number keeps moving. But if you put vision to it,
Yes. Yes, and having a goal, and we think we're gonna be happy when we make $1 million, and then you set a next goal and you think you're gonna be happy then, and then the goalpost keeps moving. So defining
What it looks
what that really looks like, not just a number. Helps you define what enough is.
Oh, I think said this, and Rachel and I both wrote this down, the things that we prayed for, sometimes they become the things that we talk about. And then again, things that we prayed for, sometimes become the things.
Said 95% of the time that you have with your kids before they turn 18. So Lori and I can say 95% of the time that your grandkids before they're 18. I got an 18-year-old grandson. Thinks I have an ATM machine as far as giving advice. Won't listen.
His story around that was he was sitting in his office. You guys jump in if I move. He was sitting in his office. He and his wife had had fertility issues for a couple of years. And his 2-year-old came in and was just being a 2-year-old. But his first thought was, oh, I've got to get work done. Why is he acting like this? Blah, 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 blah. And then in that moment, he thought, what am I doing? I was literally on my hands and knees praying for this child. And now he's in my office and all I am is annoyed that he's in there because I can't.
And every single thing that you do today is something that our 90-year-old self will wish that they could get back to.
Right. Did the Warren Buffett example.
Yep.
You guys should read his book. He's amazing.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Oh,
we
yeah.
had him talk to place, like he's unbelievable.
What's part of what Taylor was talking about that kind of giving his mom about?
No, that's one of our other place guys. We were talking about the time you get to spend with your
Yeah.
kids and the limited
Very
time.
mind what Taylor was saying.
No, that's right.
What's his name?
Sahil Bloom, right? Sahil Bloom.
Yeah, and they gave us that earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. Yeah, he's super powerful. Yeah.
He said people run towards pleasure and away from pain.
Mhm.
And people think that staying still is safe, but it is actually the most dangerous.
Who all went to me? I'm sorry if I missed that. Joe?
How many of you guys went?
Us four and Brian, who else? Rachel,
Rachel, Greg,
Greg.
Cunningham, Andrew,
Operations manager.
Olivia.
Olivia.
Yep.
Benson was with, you know. Benson and Lauren.
Right.
Lauren Lucas.
Oh,
Yeah, she
wow.
was with us.
Wait,
But she was on stage.
I was gonna say, wasn't she on stage?
He was her. She did a great job.
What about the random? We loved him.
I cried.
We got a picture with him. I like,
Cried.
I don't geek out, but that was fun.
It was amazing.
And what was his?
He has a book called Leveling Up.
Brian Lee, L-E-A-K?
Yes, L-E-A-K, yep.
He's amazing.
And his whole thing was about intentionality. And I got it summarized here. It's the secret sauce for leveling up life and business. But he was all just about being real and being involved. So he had 6 questions to ask yourself. So we're do this. What it's like to be on the other side of was his first question. So ask him what's it like on the other side. So you need that empathy and perspective. Take encouraging listeners to walk into every meeting considering the other person's perspective and insight. So everybody that you're talking to, what's on the other side, what's going on with them. The second question is how can I be intentional, proactive, communication and relationships, emphasizing the importance of setting the tone before the market or emotion dictate it, and deciding the kind of person that I'm. The third one is what's my part to play? Our collaboration and staying in the lane, resisting the temptation to be the rainmaker, the negotiator, and mother, visionary, and instead modeling what it looks like to play one specific role in saying, you know, what is my part? So I'm doing everything for everyone, do your part. The next question, number 4 is who can I pave the way for? And that would be legacy and mentorship, recognizing that someone paves the way for you through actions like chatting, counselors, getting negotiations, that kind of thing, prompting reflection on who you are and now paving the way for it. And on that, when you get back to who, why are you sitting in it? Like go back, like who's the most recent person that made the year, like the right here, or who is for that, going all the way back. In your life, and that was.
He started with a teacher, I think he went back eight or maybe,
Yeah.
but it was a specific teacher in his life, and then it just kept going, so he asked us to do the same, and then to really think about who do you want to pave the way for? And then those that have paved the path for you, shoot him a text something.
What if I substituted complaining with gratitude? And so we challenge everybody to not make a simple solitary complaint about everything in the next week. Would you mind?
So you like, I was like, I don't know, 4 hours.
And the mindset shift, challenging the audience to give a stop complaint to the week and saying, if I can't complain, then what else can I do? Right? The last one was, what would I do if I knew that I couldn't fail? So if there's no possibility, what would you do? And how good can I get? So what's your potential? Risk taking, urging all of us to step outside of our comfort zone, take risks, and know that the right moment is right now. So go ahead and make that move. Sometimes the very six questions of our good method.
Can I ask a question? When you guys go back to the person who said scan the QR code and be vulnerable, and so you, A, what was the purpose of that, and B, what was the ultimate message? Was it just to show people that everybody's dealing with something, or did she have a message about that?
What was the number one response? Like, was there something more common than?
Not good enough.
Yeah, not good enough. A lot of physical ailments and health ailments, but most.
A lot of money worry.
Yeah.
That was Liz, right? That was the man. One of the biggest messages I took, and you're probably not going to take something different, was about community, and that you've got to build a community and rely on your people. She actually built a compound, and there are multiple families that live, they're all very best friends, and they all live near each other. So they're helping raise each other's kids. She gave a story about marriage advice. She and her husband were in a pretty rough spot, and they just went to their friends who were next door and said, here's where we're at. What are we not seeing? Help us look at this through a different lens. And then she gave an example of how that foundation has really helped her and these other families. But a physical representation, a tree of a bad storm, a tree fell. But because it wasn't just fallen on one house, the branches and everything had distributed its weight across all of the homes.
Wow.
And she used that as an analogy for build your community and people. And so what she wanted to show was that we're all dealing with something, and we have no idea what each other is dealing with. So you've got to have community and the right people around.
Right after that was going up on the screen, I wrote down that she said, isolation undermines our health and our happiness, as it is beside the fact that we can feel it. So whatever we're feeling on that screen is just us, and we saw everybody else, we were no longer are isolated, but having it undermine our happiness and health, is really drawing us together to intentional. And building those relationships, so we need to find that there's a full deal. And for us, so soft the isolation, we're all, we are all.
We're not. This is totally off topic, but.
No, you're good, go.
That she said, are you dreaming too big? And she said, dream small and believe in it and have big energy around that.
Yes.
Yeah. We can bring them together to see that. That's a good visual.
She's got a couple companies. Who is this one? Her name is Liz Bohannon. But she told the story being 23 and told no and no and no and no, you're never gonna do this, no, no, no. So she took matters in her own hands and the Africa. And build a community there, and then her business evolved, and now she's a successful businesswoman, but it was all about community and giving your own path. You're not alone in feeling how you do. We're all good. All right, any other thoughts behind that? A big part of Mega Camp was AI. And if people into AI are going to find out, they better find out from you. Who was? We're giving you thoughts around that. Anyone want to go for a second?
How to be recommended by AI?
Yeah.
Self segment is what they called it. Okay, so how do we teach AI to trust us? Okay, instead of, we were always going after SEO, well, now it's generative. And so we need to teach AI to be able to find us. So being on all the platforms and. I don't know. On a lower level.
We talked about that. Yeah. It's nothing to be afraid of. You just have to tell it what to do and who it is. So if I'm creating something, I might say, you are a Keller Williams team leader. And then I'm gonna give it more directive, and you can just play with it and watch it. And you can tell it, no, that's not right, let's do something else, or you can add to those instructions. Joe Lisa, who was the cool guy? He was.
Oh, yeah. I bought a book. It's just like all the questions that, why should I buy an in-ground pool versus a liner pool and all this stuff? So he started coming up with words you should put out there that you can do. It's obviously a good time to sell my Worthing or Lewis Center home. Put that into ChatGPT, that it creates something, copy and paste, get that there on the internet. Have what things should be looking for in your Worthing, Clintonville, Lewis Center home on a home inspection.
Right.
Do a video with a home inspector, the pitfalls of home inspection, all this stuff to put out there on the internet that will get AI to trust you and like you. So I went in there, who the top selling realtor was in the Clintonville area.
Did you come
and
up?
I came up like the sixth. But some of the people who came up ahead of me were top selling realtors, but not in Clinton. I mean, Sandy Range Group is the top group. They're very much in Clinton, but they came up ahead of me. I started to play them.
Okay.
And I asked them, well, why would you consider Joe Jackson, this Jackson Advantage team to sell your Clintonville Worthing at home? I started to get some answers, so I was playing with it. So I was training AI. So you have to train AI to trust you and you have to put out content.
You must be willing to say what others are not willing to say, and you must be willing to show what others aren't willing to show.
Yeah.
So it's just,
What does that mean?
like, what.
Well, I mean, we all posted, we just sold a house, we just listed a house, nobody really cares.
Right,
But other real, but
right.
what problems would you have buying a home in Southern Orchards using a VA loan.
Yeah.
And put that out there, so you're addressing veterans and Southern Oregon. Answer real questions that buyers.
So this, we'll call him the pool guy,
Mhm.
I will find his name,
I was looking.
owns a pool company. And he decided he was gonna put all of his competitors on his website, their contact information, what they did, how to get a hold of them, difference between fiberglass and liners, and all these questions that he was getting. And all that did was build trust with his audience, because he said, yeah, it was, he put competitors, he put all kinds of information that people are thinking anyway.
Yeah.
Who else can I call? Who else should I get a quote from? And just doing that piece
You're being transparent.
created trust, you're being
That's The
transparent, so,
progressive insurance model, right? Progressive insurance, they started their whole campaign on, we will tell you what, we'll give you quotes of everybody, we may not be,
Yeah.
this, but we'll still think we're the best, and
yeah,
so it shows the vulnerability, which you were talking about before, and it shows the transparency.
yes, transparency. But at the end of the day, with all of the AI stuff, the message that we heard over and over and over again was you must be more human than others are willing to be. Along with all of the AI.
Mhm.
Just generally keeping apart from that.
Yeah. Yep. In addition to, or a company,
Yeah, it all ties together.
All ties
It's the
together,
more
yeah.
you're posting out there, your vulnerability and the transparency and all that stuff, AI will pick up on that.
Yeah.
And help with that, yeah.
Did you catch something about you could create two chat GPT accounts, one personal, and one is incognito?
yes,
What was that about?
and Gary AI, we talked about Gary AI.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, create two AI accounts for trust signals.
ChatGPT, if we're using ChatGPT, which by the way, Gemini, if you log in with your KW credential, you have a free pro version of that
Oh, really?
for Gemini.
Really?
Yes,
Did they announce that, like, is that around the state? Because it felt like it was like being beta tested and they didn't announce it.
where did I learn that? I maybe learned that at the Mastermind for TLs on Thursday.
I think it was Ashley who said they just haven't announced them around
Okay.
to stay.
Make sure it works.
Well, it does. No, I think the free part of it, that might not be, that was, it works. I've been using it for a while, but it might not be included in our, but maybe they have.
Right.
Okay. These are some notes from Brian that he wanted me to share. So he actually did a mastermind with Gary and Jason Abrams, who is head of industry, for those that don't know. Their big message in that mastermind was YouTube. Gary is YouTube, and YouTube will, mean more to your brand than your website will, if it's not already.
Yeah, it's the biggest real production, they're just strong YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And they're posting YouTube 3-4 times a week.
Ken Kozak was on the panel.
Jerry Pink is out of, not Kellow, he's out of, Myrtle Beach. It's huge.
Yeah, there was a lot of
10
conversation.
things to
around-
look for to buy in your Myrtle Beach home.
Yeah,
It's just huge.
yeah. I think, was it Ryan Leake that said the 20-60-20 rule? Or was that Julie Holmes? You do you is what she called it, but we can't keep doing the just listed, just sold. It's gotta be, people wanna connect with who you are as a person, not all of, it can't all be real estate all the time.
I've got a good example of that, and my wife's always like, we've got to do something other than this list is just sold. She goes, what do you know? And I'm like, well, I know landscaping and trees, that was my background, and so she said, okay, go find something you can do, and I was gonna drive to our house to do something in my backyard with a tree, and then stopped at the neighbors, because they had a big, huge tree care company out there in front of their lawn, and I knocked on his door, and he's like, yeah, we had a huge tree fall down. So I did a little 2-minute reel on what to look for with your landscape trees and why it's important. That I got more hits and more views on that video than probably all my just listings and just solds combined over the last year. So it does definitely work.
Yes,
What's the 20? 20% view, and then 60% community, and then 20%.
that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
The first one you said, this 1% was you.
What is that say? Something you, yeah, 20% of what you're doing. And then 60% of AI action comes in, so. Doing things with AI and 20% of. Us doing like review, right?
Yeah. There was, a panel that, to simplify it, he said, I don't want to be Mr. Top Real Estate Agent. I want to be all things Orlando, or I want to be the top expert in Orlando, in his area. That was his goal. That was Ken Pozak. That was Ken Pozak. He said, I'm not here to be, I'm not on my socials to just be Ken Pozak Real Estate Agent. I am here for all things Orlando. When people think of Orlando, they want to know, which arborist to call, or what restaurant, or anything to do with my area. That's the goal of, that's my goal, is to be that person for people. Not just
That guy on
real
the
estate.
and from California who was saying, I don't ask him why he met with my socials and stuff, and it's very, very, he said it's counterintuitive that you would be so micro, but those micro people are gonna find you.
Yes.
Yeah. He was that's what he's saying, try not to be so wide out here with all the things on social. It's niche down to one thing, like if it's senior living or, one thing.
Canva did a presentation that was pretty amazing, and it's gonna be exciting once that is rolled out.
We don't have that yet. I thought that.
I thought it was September.
I thought, actually, this did a thing. Yeah.
I don't know if it's fully,
But I don't think she said something very good.
it's kind of,
And there is, even though actually going to be creating for us, templates that we can use that are already ready to sell it later and stuff, like you don't have to recreate the real, we can, but yeah, they're already, they used to do that. They used to do that before.
Ryan Leak said, chasing failure took me further than chasing success ever did.
I found it his post too, and the one, yeah.
So what he meant was that you learn more from failing to be successful.
Yeah, and just going for it. The biggest ideas haven't come out of your mouth because you had a meeting with yourself first. Does anybody resonate with that? you guys have questions.
How many days were you there?
4?
4. And in most of these, how many people, was like thousands of people there or?
Couple of thousand.
Yeah, and are these the creme de la creme or just up at all, levels?
I would say all levels, everybody's
At a different
invited
spot,
to come.
yeah. And, I was just curious, because I never been there. Want to know how it differs from the other convention.
Are you talking about family reunion?
Yeah.
Or, so this, everybody's in one giant hall, like CEO Summit, we were in a big theater.
Okay,
Less people were at that one. That was an extra ticket, so that cost a little extra money, there were probably. I don't know, 1,200 people in that one, maybe.
Cool guy.
Oh, thank you so much. Marcus Sheridan is the cool guy. Marcus Sheridan. Marcus Sheridan.
What's it for?
And it's called Endless Customers.
What do you think Gary's biggest message was?
AI and YouTube. The founder of Stone Point Capital spoke to us. He was pretty good. That got us all excited. So we'll share that video once that's out. But
What was the essence of it?
That they're venture capitalists that invested.
That they're going to make things
yeah, just
better,
they're-
faster.
yes.
They are investing. I think they really try to put a face with the name for us, because I think there's still a lot of uncertainty. And they
Yeah.
really just want to tell the story so that we could know him and fall in love with him and understand him. Super brilliant, man. Yeah, super brilliant, very humble, very, yeah, very humble, very. Chuck.
Just Google Chuck.
Chuck from Stone Point Capital. Yeah,
I think that's really the whole reason he's there, just calm people down.
face
Like,
with the name.
He's a normal guy, he's not some person out here looking at numbers and
Yeah,
maybe he is looking at things. Like a personal. Like the guy who did walk the thing, another drink, but.
Chuck Davis.
Unknown.
thank you. Yes.
Chuck Davis.
He seemed, at least on stage, seemed to have a really good relationship with Gary.
I don't think Gary would have done it if he didn't feel like they were.
No, because there were other people who were in there, and he was like, no, absolutely not, yeah.
No, but we had no.
He said a lot of different things, but he kept saying, please, if anybody's recording, you stop recording me, so he said a lot of stuff from legal.
Oh.
But it's just like things that it's not about. That's. For instance, that we had several people. He also told us that. Like 3 days prior to the conference, Gary scrapped everything. Changed some of the speakers, he scrapped everything, so this isn't good, this isn't the direction I want to be going. And so a lot of people that were on the family were no longer on the family, and they got changes like that, yeah, and they all were scrambling, because they're like, we had this plan for, months, and he said, no, it's not right. We're gonna change it, so I haven't. I feel that, I thought they were gonna get up there with it, but.
What, like, was your biggest takeaway? I know you guys have said AI and this and that, like, what was the general like vibe or feeling of people you talked to about what's going on? You had to articulate that. Hi, Glenn.
I didn't go.
Oh, you did it?
No.
I thought you were there.
I think even with AI and tech and all the things, the message of remaining human and that human connection, and that's not going away. AI is not replacing us. AI is not the end all be all of all the things. It's don't forget to remain human. Your humanity is just as important, if not maybe even more important than ever.
What would you say? Yeah, I think that was the message, and also leveling up, like staying ahead of everything. We're always leveling up. So your personal life, your business life, you're always leveling up. And I think that humanity thing is strong throughout too, because people are craving that more than ever. Since COVID, and we turned to social media so much, that's really.
I had an interesting call this morning. I was participated in one of the leadership academies for Ohio Valley region. And Linda McKissick just a follow-up call with people who attended. So Linda and I got a call this morning, and her question is, what's your greatest challenge? And and I just said, Linda, I didn't go to mega campus, and my understanding, is there was a lot of talk about AI, and so I said, it's the thing that has literally been on my 135 for the last 6 years. Better social media presence, better. She said, Mary, I always say that if it keeps appearing there, and I know I should have, I probably am not gonna do it. Like, it's good. But she says, no, you shouldn't do it, right? It's not that it's not important. It's just, it's not who you are. It sounds like you're more of a toe-to-toe, get out, develop the relationships and build your business that way. But she said, just a suggestion, there is an AI playbook now that's available from Keller Inc. or Keller Williams, whoever. And she said, the real key is maybe get your hands on a copy of that, and as a team, or employ the people who can help do this, because you're probably not going to. Literally, if it's been there 6 years and you're a high performing agent, if you haven't done it, you're probably not just gonna wake up tomorrow and jump right into it. I said, thanks, Linda, I do appreciate the honesty around that, because it's true. But I think it leads into everything you guys just said, that it's, the relationships are valuable, utilize the tools to help people know you, so then they can invite you in and you can. The next step. That's what I heard you say. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you have to realize that people that do engage in AI are going to be using AI to try to steal your clients. So our engagement with our database is more important now than it's ever been. So if you're not reaching out to your database, if you're not the expert, someone is going to appear through AI to be the expert. And if you're not having those communications, they're going to steal your clients. So that's all we keep hearing is engage with your database, call those people, build those relationships, be the go-to person for, whatever they need.
Right.
Really?
I'm sorry. Too, but I was like, oh yeah, we do that.
That would have made sense with their business model. I'm just surprised. Yeah.
That's close kind of dead, like.
Yeah.
So it's saying that that AI book was just introduced at Mega Camp.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the third book is coming out.
The third
Third
playbook.
playbook,
Yeah.
That was the QR code, we couldn't buy it there yet.
Okay.
AI
You could
playbook
pre-order.
Reservation on reservation. Yeah, the third book, there's 2 other playbooks before it, but they just keep compounding.
It's saying it's also unveiling the latest edition of the MREA playbook. So I don't know if it's like a different one from that.
Yeah, I think So, because MRA playbook kind of goes through all the models, and it
Yeah.
gives you great examples of agents who have, we've got MRA playbooks kicking around, yeah, so if you guys wanna, I don't know where they are, and I'm not gonna offer Nicole's versions, but if I have any, you guys are welcome to borrow them. We've got, yeah, probably see the first one. Yeah, I think I do too.
And I'd like to see the AI book.
He also said that there are 17 CPA compliance lawsuits a day.
What?
77 lawsuits a day. And they just won their first one, it was $6 million, $6 million lawsuit. But they're hoping that they can use that for precedence moving forward to say, look, this was, it was dismissed without prejudice, right? I feel like, well, you don't know, but I mean, you know. So it was without prejudice, meaning it was a frivolous lawsuit, this is stupid and they picked it out. But they're hoping that they can use that for precedence moving forward and get all the rest of them picked out.
Oh, wow.
But it costs money to do it.
Sure. But do you, if you think about it, if you think about you think of a little bit more passive approach, which I know has kind of been, no, you wanna be aggressive but a YouTube channel, social media, if you're putting yourself out there and people are finding you, it does minimize the challenges against anything, that would be at client. Right? Because they're coming. And AI is gonna help them find.
So the book you can pre-order, shipping second week of September. Sorry.
And it's a playbook, so it's not necessarily a step by step, it's like, this is how one agent was successful doing this. This was, and it's really great because it's almost like case studies and how, it will tell you how to, but it's not. It gives you probably 17 or between 15 and 20 different case studies that you can dive into.
They are gonna put together an AI summit. I don't
Nice.
know if that would be streaming video, I don't know how that will be, but they are.
Have you guys used ChatGPT to find yourselves?
Rachel got a lead that way.
Yeah.
Really, we got her.
Yeah.
And said, ChatGPT said you weren't doing.
Yeah, I just did it while we were sitting here. It tells you your ranking in the United States, in the state of Ohio. It brings up customer testimonials or client testimonials, volume. It actually looks pretty accurate.
You can ask it to put together a line item business plan to be a successful realtor making X amount of dollars. It'll tell you exactly what you need to be doing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, everybody should do that. Just play around with it.
Right, anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for joining
I
us.
want to give her the.